Hi there, ho there, it's Mike Pesto.
And your friend Mike O'Neill, the new My 97.5 Afternoons.
Mike and Mike's Off-Air Podcast. We are going at it once again. Please do follow us on YouTube whenever we post anything. It'll always make sure that it gets your attention. Also, whenever we do anything Facebook Live as well, if you like us and follow us on Facebook. Did you get the alert when we went Facebook Live, Mike? Okay, cool.
I saw it. In fact, that was going to be my first question. I was going to ask you, what was the single most inspiring moment yesterday evening between 5 and 7 p.m. out at Fresno Yosemite International?
The fact that the flight was on time. And Paul, I talked with him about it ahead of time when we first got there and started setting up. And for those who didn't catch this, we were the only radio station in the South Valley. Kings of Tulare County is actually on hand for the return of Central Valley Honor Flight. So Wednesday night is when it actually got in, with one veteran on board from Kings County, 9 from Tulare County. And we were set up a little ways away from the actual area where the veterans came in. But as we were setting up, I went up to Paul Leffler, who does a fantastic job. I didn't realize he's actually on the radio live at the time while he's there until 6 o'clock. And then from 6 o'clock on, however long it takes, he is plugging away, giving information about the veterans on board, talking to other people who are there. They do check presentations. The band will play a little bit. And there are times it's 2 or 3 hours delayed.
To say that he is committed to our veterans is the understatement of the galaxy.
And I can't think of anyone else who could do locally what he does with, again, doing the live show and then doing such a great job of working that event. And granted, yes, he's emceeing it, but never once makes it about him.
Nope.
It's always about the veterans. It's always about the board with the organization, Central Valley Honor Flight, and the work that they do. And it just gives you the impression it's his feeling. He's just a cog in the wheel, helping the thing go, and it's all about making sure those veterans have that experience if they want to have it.
And Paul was great because, we used to do a Veterans Day thing where we would go out and try to raise money. Actually, it was the Honor Flight thing. We'd go out and try to raise money. And as the production director of the radio station, I'm always trying to think of ways to emotively engage listeners. Paul connected me with 3 of the local vets 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I had them in, and I just interviewed them. And I both learned something and found a really good way to do that. First of all, I learned, even though I was a kid at about 1968, 69, a lot of folks don't know that the Vietnam War was an absolutely hated war by most of the average Americans. And as a result of that, and the whole Give Peace a Chance movement, which was valid, our men, and mostly men and women, came home and were hated.
Yeah,
they were spat upon. They were treated terribly. I missed that because I was a kid at the time and didn't really get to see that. And these guys got to clue me in. And the last time we did the come out and give money thing, I had some promos that really worked, and they seemed to help. I had the guys actually on discussing what it was like and what they went through. And I thank Paul for that connection.
Yeah, one of the things in talking with Paul ahead of time and going back to being inspired by the fact that it was on time, he said it was the first time since they started the trips again after COVID that a flight actually was on time. And that's a big deal for him because otherwise he's got to milk it. He wants everybody to stick around and realizing it always gets in on a Wednesday. People have things going on, places to do, or places to go, things to do, get ready for the next day, especially for those who aren't in Fresno. For anyone who came from Kings or Tulare counties, if it was delayed by a half hour, it's like, boy, I'd love to stick around, but I got to be up early tomorrow morning. I've got an hour drive to get home.
Yeah, that's a 50, 60-minute drive for Tulare dwellers. But it sounds like it all planned out. It all panned out, rather.
Absolutely.
And I know how much the guys appreciate it and the gals that get to go. It's just, and you ask any of them about it, and they have trouble putting it into words. There's such an emotive connection when you get there and you see the spires if you're an Air Force guy, or you see your monument, and then go see where the guys and gals are buried. it's got to be beyond words. It really does.
Bill Goodrow, who has gone on, I think he said 32 at this point, or 31 of the 33 flights, has been the lead on several of them. That when I went a few years ago as a media member, and especially at the Wall, the Vietnam Memorial, that was the war that he was involved with. He'll brace people ahead of time. Listen, and he'll refer to everyone who has been in that conflict as a brother of his. He's like, brothers, I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be emotional. And sure enough, as you spent a lot of time there, you walk, sometimes you will come across a name that you have forgotten. And I forget the order that they have it. It's very artistically done. If you ever get a chance to see video of it, it really is moving. And he'll usually stay a little ways off and let those veterans who have not seen it before have that experience of going. And the job that they do on that before, during, and after, and then obviously all the fundraising that they do, it's upwards of $200,000 for every single flight, and they try to do a minimum of 3 every single year.
So the way to look at it as someone that's not in the military, next time there's a fundraiser for Honor Flight, especially if it's for non-vets who are a lot of the ones going over now, think of it as a way to send off and welcome back home in a way that they didn't get to have when they were serving. That's the way I look at it, and that's the mindset I try to give towards.
And if you can get to our Facebook page, hopefully we are Facebook friends at this point. You follow us, and again, when we pop on with Facebook Live videos, you'll be aware of it. The Facebook Live video, and it's just a video at this point, not live anymore, but of when the veterans actually came in, and you hear the roar of the crowd, and how Paul does a great job of keeping them going for 10, 15 minutes or so as they're all paraded through that mass of humanity waiting for them, and the band is playing, and it's orchestrated so well.
And they deserve it, and so much more, obviously.
So I wanted to ask you, with the time that we have left, and I had no idea we spent that much time talking about that, but again, a worthwhile organization. I don't know, it's kind of a little blip that I mentioned with the dirt this morning. Aziz Ansari, I'm not sure if you're familiar with him. He's an actor, comedian who was in...
Yeah, I think I do. Can I see the picture?
Yes, absolutely.
Yep, I know who he is.
Okay, so I'll show everybody else. If you're watching on the YouTube video, that's him. He was in Parks and Rec, maybe it was, some sitcom a while back, and now he writes, he directs, he still acts. He's a stand-up comedian, does a lot of things. Well, made a little bit of news recently, and I'm surprised this got as many waves as it did, but maybe it's just indicative of a lot of actor, directors, comedians in Hollywood that he is ditching his smartphone and going to a dumb phone, a flip phone. And I think it's ironic because one of the questions I was going to ask you, Mike O'Neill, is do you think you could do that? I don't think you could, because the first thing you did is now you're now looking him up on your smartphone.
Well, how long have I had an iPhone, Mike? It's in my sock drawer. And you know what it says on the front? Just iPhone. It's the original iPhone, the very first one. That's how long I've had iPhone. Not this one, but I've had iPhone since there was an iPhone. And it's funny you would mention that, because I recently told Colleen I've wound my business down. I did a wedding business for decades, and the iPhone was mandatory for scheduling, for calling, for reservations.
You have to be accessible 24/7 practically.
Well, that's done. And sometimes when the T-Mobile ad comes on, and it's 3 phones for a quarter of what I'm paying for AT&T, and I'm like, maybe we should do that. I mean, I'm actually starting to think about that, but yeah, I am hopelessly addicted.
Yeah,
but what's the question?
Mine charging over here. So again, he famously, and I guess a lot of actor, comedian, producer types in Hollywood are now ditching their smartphones for old school flip phones.
Man.
Here's the thing, and this goes into maybe something we can dive into again on a different topic, the disconnect between when you live in Hollywood and when you are a quote-unquote somebody who has people. Yes, then you can do this, because you have people who go through all those emails, who go through all those voicemails, and they select the ones that you think you need to know,
Right.
and then we'll call you personally and say, hey, this person needs to get in touch with you about the new movie you're about to direct or the new screenplay you're working on. You don't have to deal with people personally. You have that buffer. Do you have a buffer, Mike O'Neill?
No.
No, your buffer is your phone.
The point is well made, but I would also offer this.
Okay.
If when I say we, I don't mean me and you. I mean when my family is at a restaurant and we're out for dinner, put down your damn phone and be present at the table is all I can say. And for those times when you get together as a group. And I mean, I can't. When my family lived with me, they're all grown and have their own homes now. But I would look around the living room and it's everybody in a chair.
That's how it is now.
And that's 6 people within 4 feet of each other. Not a word. Just the occasional laugh. Hey, did you see this?
So you see that once you retire out of radio, obviously, it's something that you could do, and it would be feasible at that point.
Honestly, yes, because
you don't need to be contacted. Now you do if there's a problem with a client or a spot didn't sound right or whatever. There was a glitch in the matrix sort of thing, being one of the last links in the chain. We need to get a hold of Mike O'Neill to find out what's going on with this. If you don't have your phone, and with what we do, and our program director, Randy Hendricks, and I were chatting about this just yesterday because I had a day off, just kind of took a day off earlier this week on Tuesday and went to go visit my wife's dad in Pacific Grove. We hadn't seen them in a while. The kids had a couple of days off because of Columbus Day, Indigenous Peoples Day, and they had a school day off after that. So it was 2 days in a row. Their fall break, they called it. So I'm like, you know what? You need to see your dad. It's been too long. I think it would be good for you. I know it would be great for him. Let's go. So we made plans to do that. And I saw, while I was off work, that Boy George and Culture Club are going to be at Tachi Palace Casino Resort coming up next year.
They are.
So I immediately sent that to Randy. And he said, oh, I'm glad you saw that. I hadn't noticed. I'm like, well, the information just dropped from Tachi an hour before that.
Yep.
And I said, no such thing as a day off. There really isn't. For anyone who loves what they do for a living, and we've talked about it, we obviously do, there's no such thing as a day off. As you're sitting there watching TV as the production director, if you hear something that works audibly in a commercial, it's like, oop, I got to remember that next time because we have a similar client I've been working on a sound for them. That would work for them.
Yeah, exactly. And even not on a business note, I discovered last evening that Mercy Me and who are the guys that do Redeemed? Oh my gosh, darn it. I know who this. It's a big Christian group. Are coming next year to the Save Mart Center. And I got my pre-orders right on in. If I hadn't had my iPhone, I wouldn't have seen it because it's not on TV yet.
Oh, okay.
It came up on my Ticketron, is it Ticketmaster app?
Okay.
And it knows because it knows me, like all of our electronic things know that I like Christian concerts, and there it was, and there I bought them, and there I go.
And I guess in Aziz's case, it wouldn't be his phone that would go off in a case like that. He has people who know him well enough who scan that for him. Oh, did you see this? Let me be the one to call Aziz and tell him that his favorite artist is going to be at the Hollywood Bowl, and I just got him a pair of tickets for the concert. Yep. So
I can't even imagine.
That goes back to the whole
like.
disconnect of yes, it's great that you can do this, but again, you've got people, and your people have people. For those of us who can't afford people, we need smartphones.
My people is my wife, and hers is me, and
that's all there is to it.
And that's it. And so if we don't catch it, then we're done. But yeah, I can't even imagine living like that. I wouldn't enjoy living like that. God bless them that do make it work, and the millions they have. Nah, I like my life just fine. Thank you.
Because you'd always be thinking about the gatekeepers, and that's basically what they are, who keep things from getting to you, make sure certain things get to you. What if, as a director, as a producer, as a writer, someone doesn't forward him a great idea because they don't think he would like it, and he doesn't get wind of it because, again, he's not as plugged in personally as you would be if you did have that device. We are now tethered to the world because we all have smartphones. It's a blessing and a curse.